So, in this massive race to find the best talent, companies are grabbing onto a seriously powerful new tool, AI voice assistants. But here's the catch. While these tools promise to completely change the hiring game, they're also hiding a pretty major privacy risk. In this explainer, we're going to break down all the benefits and the big dangers you really need to know about. All right, let's just start with a truth that anyone in hiring knows all too well. It is a high-pressure race against time. The demand to find amazing people, do it yesterday, and somehow stay on budget, well, it's absolutely relentless.
And it's that exact pressure that's lighting a fire under a full-blown hiring revolution. To deal with it all, companies are now turning to AI voice screening. We're talking about technology that promises to make the whole hiring thing faster, way smarter, and a whole lot more efficient.
And when you put the old way next to the new way, the difference is just, wow, it's night and day. On one side, you've got the traditional method, right? It's manual, it's slow, you're constantly bogged down by scheduling nightmares, and let's be honest, human bias. But on the other side, you've got AI. It's automated, it's driven by data, it's available 24/7, and it can screen a practically limitless number of candidates. And the numbers here really do speak for themselves. I mean, just imagine slashing your recruitment cycle by up to 80%, or being 2 to 5 times more cost-effective. The big goal here is also to cut down on that unconscious bias by focusing purely on data, all while giving candidates the freedom to interview whenever it works for them. You know, this isn't just a small tweak. For companies that are hiring a lot of people, this is a total game changer.
So how does this all actually work? It can seem kind of like magic, but behind the curtain, it's actually a very structured and logical process. Let's pull that curtain back and break it down.
The AI just slots right into the hiring funnel you already have. It kicks things off by filtering resumes, and then it invites candidates to a voice interview. From there, the AI has a real conversation, asking questions specific to the role. And it's doing this in real time, analyzing not just the words, but also things like tone and confidence. And the best part? It then spits out a simple, concise summary, which lets the human recruiter focus their precious time only on the absolute best fit candidates.
You know, the easiest way to get your head around the tech is to think of it like a little 3-part digital team. First up, you've got the ears. That's a speech-to-text engine that writes down what the candidate is saying. Then you have the brain. That's a large language model, basically a super powerful AI that's trained to understand meaning and context. And finally, you have the voice, the text-to-speech engine that gives a natural, human-like response. All three working together to create a super smooth conversation.
Okay, but while the efficiency is just incredible, there's a serious risk hiding in plain sight, or actually in plain sound. The biggest vulnerability is found in the candidate's voice itself. And this brings us to a really critical question that every single company using this tech has to ask. When your AI assistant is listening to a candidate, what kind of data is it truly collecting? Is it just the words they're saying, or is it something more?
Well, it turns out that under a lot of strict data privacy laws, a person's voice print can be classified as biometric data. This puts it in the exact same category as fingerprints or iris scans. We're talking about information that can uniquely identify a person, which makes it one of the most sensitive and highly protected types of personal data out there.
Now, to really understand just how serious this is, let's look at a powerful real-world example. Russia's federal law number 152/FZ. It has some of the absolute strictest rules on personal data anywhere in the world. This law sets an exceptionally high bar for any organization anywhere on the planet that processes the personal data of Russian citizens. And you guessed it, when it comes to biometric data, the requirements get even tougher. And make no mistake, these rules are enforced with teeth. Failing to comply isn't just some minor slap on the wrist. It comes with some pretty significant financial consequences. For a company, the fines for processing biometric data without the proper written consent can go all the way up to 1.5 million rubles. So the message is crystal clear. Get your consent process right, or you're going to pay the price. So here's the crucial point. In a lot of very common business situations, a simple checkbox for consent just doesn't cut it. Under this law, you need explicit, signed, written consent for processing biometric data. And look at that last point. This also applies when you're making a decision based solely on automated processing, which is exactly what an AI screening tool does.
And if that wasn't complicated enough, there's another major hurdle, the data localization rule. This rule says that all personal data of Russian citizens has to be physically recorded, stored, and processed on servers that are located inside Russia's borders. For global companies, this is a massive operational and technical headache.
So, with all these risks swirling around,
How can businesses actually embrace this amazing technology without wandering into a legal minefield? Well, luckily, there's a clear, actionable playbook for innovating safely.
Here are the 4 essential steps. It's your compliance checklist. First, figure out if you're even processing biometric data. And remember, a voice can count. Second, you have to draft consent forms that are legally sound, which means they've got to be explicit and in writing. Third, you must actually get and securely store that signed consent for every single person. And finally, document everything. You need a paper trail to prove that your entire process is compliant.
Look, AI-powered recruitment has the potential to make hiring faster and fairer for everybody involved. It's truly exciting. But as we've just seen, with great innovation comes great responsibility. The technology is here, it's ready to go. The real question every leader needs to be asking is this: are our processes and our compliance frameworks ready for it?